living it up.
Okay. You know the deal. Week 17 Bud Baller review. It was a gootin'. I earned a good win versus John, who got embodied, bro. Nick and Jackson tied, but doesn't matter. Tom got a close one versus Drew. They were tied in 2 categories and close to tying in several others. Sawyer got back to his winning ways with Chris, and Alec is beating up on, I don't want to say a depleted Tim team because a lot of their categories are actually pretty close, but Alec took home the dub nonetheless. Myself versus John, this was going to be the highlight of the week here, maybe save for Tim and Alec, but that didn't live up to the hype as much as John and myself did. We were separated by less than a thousandth of a percentage point field goal percentage. Separated by 5 turnovers and tied in triple doubles. I apologize. So it was a close one all week. Ended up pulling out 6-4. I had the most threes, the most points, and the most steals in the league this week. Meanwhile, John had the most rebounds and tied for the most double doubles in the league this week with 11. MVP just laid the hurt down. Got his 4th career triple double versus John to equalize the one that Luka put up earlier in the week. Luka also had a banger of a week. I think he was named League Player of the Week by the NBA. Didn't matter, though. I took home the dub. Team's looking good. I got some roster issues I need to work through as far as got to figure out who I'm going to drop to start streaming people. But John's team, even though suffering a loss, trade deadline could prove to be very fruitful for his team. Picking up Drummond, who you're going to assume is going to get at least 20 minutes a night on the Nets. Even if he doesn't close for them, that could easily be enough time to get blocks and rebound potential from him. Simmons, who knows when he's going to come back, but you assume if he comes back at any point, it's going to be good for John. Only downside might be Kristaps being traded to the Wizards. There's definitely a world in which they just shut him down for the rest of the year, given his injury history and whatever. They probably try to move on from him at some point. But anyway, I would have been 7-1-1 this week, only losing to Sawyer and tying Tom. I'm riding a 3-game win streak, still comfortably with a 2-game lead in first with a record of 14-2-1. Meanwhile, John would have been 6-2-1, losing to myself and Sawyer and tying Alec. John's on a 1-game losing streak, moves out of second place down into third with a record of 11-5-1. I believe that's a full game back of Sawyer for that second seed. On to Nick and Jackson. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time here. Jackson did have the fewest turnovers this week, something his team does a lot. Him and Drew, I feel like, and Nick possibly. No MVP for ties. Nick's team actually put up 770 points, but Jackson won both of the stock categories, turnovers, and percentages. So I ended up coming out with a tie. Let's see, Nick would have been 1-6-2. Only win versus Chris, tying Jackson and Tim. 1-game tie streak for Nick, record of 4-12-1. Jackson, on the other hand, would have been 0-6-3. No wins, tying Nick, Chris, and Tim. Record of 3-13-1. And unfortunately, irrelevant matchup because the playoffs rosters are already set. Quick note still, there's 3 weeks left. Set your lineups if you want. If not, I'll just do it. I've been doing it enough, but everybody's been pretty good about it the past couple of weeks. Tom and Drew, this record, only 5-4 win for Tom here. They both had a triple-double. They both had 10 double-doubles. They were within 2 blocks of each other, 1 steal of each other, and percentages weren't that close. Fun fact, this is the first week in the entire season that Tom has not won either or both of the stock categories. Even though he lost both of them to Drew, he still won the week, having an advantage. Highest free throw percentage this week for Tom, and besting Drew in threes, points, rebounds, and assists. Drew had the most blocks in the league this week with 31. Despite it was a very close matchup. Drew doing it with 9 less players than Tom did this week. But MVP for Tom's going to be Josh Giddey. He only put up 49 points, but he had 39 rebounds, 28 assists, 2 double-doubles, and a triple-double. Tom would have been 5-2-2, losing only to John and Sawyer, tying myself and Alec. 1-game win streak for Tom, record of 9-5-1. Meanwhile, Drew would have been 4-5. I feel like Drew's team's actually been playing fairly well the past couple weeks, despite maybe not taking home some actual wins. But he would have beaten Nick, Jackson, Chris, and Tim this week. 1-game losing streak for Drew, 14-3-0 on the record. On to Chris and Sawyer. Chris giving up Simmons, even though he's not playing yet. But still, this team, Westbrook hasn't been playing in games. Like, this team is just being dragged to the finish line by just a host of somebody, nobody, couple of guys, bodies on the team. Like, it's not looking good. Sawyer's team, well, may not have put up some huge numbers in the threes, points, rebounds category like he normally does. He did tie for the league lead in double-doubles this week with 11, and led the league with 2 triple-doubles. Overall, he did have the most assists in the league this week with 96. MVP for Sawyer's got to be Scary Terry. Puts up 1 triple-double. Is one, I believe, either rebound or assist away from another triple-double, going absolutely off. Scary Terry had 15 threes, 96 points, 29 rebounds, 32 assists, 2 double-doubles, and a triple-double. Sawyer would have been 9-0, back to those winning ways, back in the driver's seat. Got a 1-game lead for that second seed, first playoff week bye. Wouldn't have lost to anyone. 1-game winning streak for Sawyer, record of 12-4-1. Meanwhile, Chris, down at the bottom, 0-7-2, tie versus Jackson and Tim, 3-game losing streak, record of 2-14-1. Has just been out of it since probably ever, since the draft. Since after the draft, Chris has been out of this. I believe Sawyer still does have the easiest schedule remaining. I believe he plays 2 teams in the playoffs. I know he plays Tim this week. I think it's one other person and one other non-playoff team, but Sawyer's in the driver's seat right now to hold on to that second place. Finally, we had Alec versus Tim. They were close in free throw, 3-pointers. Points, not really, but rebounds, they were only separated by 3. Turnovers were only separated by 1, 2 double-double difference, but Alec taking that final score of 8-3. 49 players versus 42. Alec also had the highest field goal percentage this week with 515. Easy MVP for Alex going to be Pascal Siakam, hitting 703 from the field this week, 116 points, 40 rebounds, 24 assists, 3 double-doubles. Let's see here. Alec jumps up into 4th place with a record of 5-2-2, only losing to myself and Sawyer, tying John and Tom. 1-game winning streak for Alec, record of 11-6-0. Meanwhile, Tim slides down to 6th place, would have been 0-6-3 this week, tying Nick, Jackson, and Chris. 1-game losing streak for Tim, 10-6-1. 10-6-1 on the year. I was looking back through like who was in what place since the start of the season, and I, no big deal, have personally been in first place for 12 of our 16 weeks or of our 17 weeks so far. Tim is actually the other player that has been in first place the most, either like 2 or 3 of those other remaining weeks. And it's just kind of been an inconsistent year for Tim. Sabonis was being out for a little bit, now getting traded, and just not having quite the punch that last season's team did. Player of the week this week is going to be a clean sweep from my boy Joel Embiid. 99 points from the field, 45 rebounds, 17 assists, 7 steals, 3 double-doubles, and 4th career triple-double. He averaged 444 from the field, 33.0 points, 15.0 rebounds, 5.7 assists, 2.3 steals a game, and averaged a double-double. We got a couple of good matchups this week. We got myself versus Alec. That's going to be the main headliner there. Alec could try and force his way up another spot or 2 if you want, or I can keep my comfortable 2-game lead I have on first place right now. Then you've got Tim and Sawyer. Sawyer Swear's just wanting to hold on. He's still got that game lead over John, and John's got a safe matchup this week, so you know Swear's team's going to come out swinging. Then you've got Nick versus John, Tom versus Jackson, and Chris versus Drew. Quick reminder, this is the All-Star break week, so it's a double week. We've got games through Thursday, and then they don't start up again until I believe next Thursday. So just keep an eye on that. Good luck. You still only have the 10 ad drops, even though it's technically a double week. But all right, boys, that's what I got for you. Good luck.